I am Caitlyn Banowsky. I'm the Senior Director of Media Strategy at Lerma. Prior to that, I was also at the Richards Group, so I feel like I'm retweeting a lot of what you just said, Scott. A really interesting challenge that we have faced with the clients that we've taken on as we have grown rapidly in the past 3 years. We handle a lot of faith-based business, and obviously being in the faith-based space, you have to balance privacy compliance with actionable data, which is something that Resonate has afforded to us at great scale and with the speed and accuracy that's required to change minds, which is a challenge that I think we don't face as often as like a KPI in the media space as you would in something like political. So having that opportunity with Resonate, especially over the past year where we've really partnered closely, has really transformed our clients' business. So I feel like a lot of the challenges that we're encountering are really similar. I would say data accuracy has been huge for us, especially when we are buying across multiple platforms, trying to ensure the consistency of target audience rather than having each platform cobble together the closest definition. And that really has been an ongoing and evolving challenge, but has really reached near critical mass in the past year, I would say. Which is why it's been perfect to partner with you all during that period of time. I would also say measurement and deduplication is critical, trying to understand the bottom line business impact rather than just saying we delivered X amount of impressions and we saw results go up. Being able to say definitively cause and effect, we took this action, this person saw it, and here's exactly what happened to your business clients has been a huge challenge for us. I think the best example in this case would be with our client, the Salvation Army, where they have a vast wealth of first-party data that we tap into when you think of how many people have given or have been recipients of service, et cetera. One of the biggest challenges that they experience is why there might be a lapse in donor relationship and how that might interact with their website. So being able to capture the data of people live on the site who may or may not be charitable, again, overlaying that third-party data to understand how people are behaving within the website, as well as understanding the different attributes that might be causing someone to lapse. Is it a political affiliation? Is it how they might be viewing something that's happening in society? And being able to understand that with recency has been incredibly important in how we approach first-party data, because it adds speed to the equation without having to do deep analysis and number crunching and then vetting it back with what the client understands. Being able to do that like at an instant, looking within Resonate and saying, here's the insight we've been able to glean, let's go. We have the right message now, let's do it. The value of the data is the insight that you are able to derive from it, and being able to find the people who are able to derive insights out of data. It's a little bit of a skill that you can coach, but also if that doesn't exist innately in some way, it's really challenging. So being able to find the right people and then give them the right tools and resources and platforms that make it easy to interpret a quality insight from data so that we can then provide our clients that insight to make business decisions off of. It is, like we've said, it's something that's evolving. It's something that's a process that we're all learning together. But I am totally geeked by what you showed us, where it like comes up with all the insights already. Being able to have a tool like that that can then be further refined and interpreted is going to be a game changer for sure. So I get to take you guys to church for a minute. It was actually He Gets Us. In the history of the Super Bowl, the most talked about brand was He Gets Us. Yeah, it was most talked about. But having the ability to capitalize on the data and understand after the Super Bowl ads aired where these individuals fell, because we wanted to make sure we were messaging, obviously broadly, because that's the nature of this campaign, but also most directly and specifically, especially in follow-ups in digital and social media, to people who were religiously unaffiliated, whether that means they're not staunchly unaffiliated, period, or of a different faith tradition, or people who felt very strongly towards Jesus. It really was to increase the respect and relevancy of the lessons that Jesus taught in that middle section. understanding after people saw our Super Bowl ads, if they were coming to the website, how they identified themselves in terms of faith would not have been possible if we hadn't had a Resonate tag placed and able to segment what these people believed and how they felt. That also furthered our opportunity to remarket to the correct audiences. If people don't want to hear from He Gets Us, that's not going to be an effective use of spend. In fact, oftentimes, to Lori's point, that negative conversation sometimes helps, but oftentimes is a huge turnoff, and that's not how we want to be spending our ad dollars. So being able to follow up, say, okay, they've come to our website, they're likely to have seen our Super Bowl ads because we can build out an audience that we know watches the Super Bowl live, for example, and then making sure that we push out our secondary messaging to only those right people was really critical to the success of our Super Bowl. After that, we were able to run a brand tracking study. We saw that within only 1 year of the campaign being live, that 70% of people in America were familiar with the brand. If you think of like Coca-Cola, who has spent billions and billions of dollars in advertising and is at 90% brand awareness, in 1 year for He Gets Us, 70% was phenomenal and something we're really proud of. And then coming out of that, we also saw an 11% increase in folks in that movable middle saying that they did feel that Jesus's messages were much more relevant. So thank you for bearing with my sermon, but huge success.